Hi everyone, I'm doing a live session before posting the actual general chemistry exam. And I just wanted to go over the plateaus that you see on the heating and cooling curves. We have the temperature over here on the y-axis, and down here, these are probably like minutes, but as we go across, there's also heat being added going this direction. So let me go ahead and add that in. Over time, heat is being added. This direction. Okay, now temperature is a measure of how fast things are moving. When more heat is added, the particles move faster and the temperature increases. So if I have a fever, the particles in my whole body start moving faster, and the ones that I measure in my mouth with a thermometer, it registers the fact that they're moving faster in my mouth, and my temperature we see has gone from my usual 97.4 degrees Fahrenheit, or what is it, 37 degrees Celsius, up to a higher temperature. Okay, but if I'm thinking, let's say, of water, for a while there, let's say we start at the bottom and he's at 0 degrees Celsius, or even below that, let's say below 0 degrees Celsius, and we're going to add heat. So maybe take him out of the freezer, take the ice out of the freezer. And for a while there, the particles of water are going to absorb heat energy from the room. They don't have their heat energy removed any longer. They'll start warming up from their surroundings, absorbing heat energy, and the particles will start to vibrate more quickly. That could be measured with a thermometer to see that the temperature is increasing because the particles are moving faster. Then we hit a plateau. Well, time's still going by. The ice cube's still sitting out in the room. It's still absorbing heat from the surroundings. But now it's hit a point where the temperature is not rising any longer. You can keep the thermometer in there and you're not going to see the temperature change. Instead, all of the energy that it's absorbing, all the heat energy, it doesn't make the particles move faster. The heat energy is forcing the particles farther apart. The energy is helping to overcome the forces of attraction that keeps the particles close together. You could imagine being at a high school dance, and they're all those teenagers are dancing really close together, and the slow song comes on. Actually, the slow song ends. Everybody starts moving faster, but they're still close together. Then the chaperones come in. That's the extra heat energy, and no one stops moving any faster or slower. They're still moving at the same pace, but the chaperones are like, hey, I need to see some daylight between you guys. And they start forcing them apart. Well, if it's going from a solid to a liquid, at this point, they're still going to be like, holding hands as they're dancing and stuff. So they're still connected, but they're farther apart. Now they're in their liquid form. Then the dance music gets a little faster. Everybody starts dancing more quickly. We might have some spinning in and out, that kind of thing. And then the chaperones come along and they're like, okay, we need everybody separated. So we hit another plateau. The temperature's not increasing any longer. Everybody's still going to be dancing at the same rate, but the chaperones come in and completely separate all of the dancers, all of those particles. And now we've got just a bunch of wild teenagers spinning all around the dance floor, bumping into each other, but then bumping right back off. That's when we're in our gas phase. And there's no interactions between the particles at all. The music's super fast. Everybody's dancing really quickly. The temperature goes up again. We have the quicker movements, and everyone's forces of attraction are gone. But then things happen and the heat energy is removed. So maybe I would do a substance into a refrigerator. In this case, maybe the music slows down a little bit. So the teenagers are getting kind of winded. They're starting to dance more slowly, and they might start, having more time near each other at this point because they're moving more slowly. So if they encounter someone else, it takes longer for them to move apart. Well, at that point, as the music's slowing down, they'll hit a point where everyone's still dancing at the same speed, but they're starting to maybe hold hands again. They're starting to reform the forces of attraction. There'll be a little while there where the music's gradually slowing, but no one's changing their speed of movement. They're just forming new forces of attraction. They won't be super strong. They're still just kind of like at the holding hand stage. No hugging yet, but things are reforming, and now we're going to be in a liquid phase. The music continues to slow down, or the heat is continued to be removed, and eventually someone takes the substance from the refrigerator, starts to stick it in the freezer. So now really the heat's going down, the music's slowing way down, and we hit a point where the temperature is still decreasing. Everything's moving slower. Then the next thing you know, we've hit a plateau where the speed is not changing, whether it's the particles in the freezer or the dancers on the dance floor. Their speed is no longer changing. The temperature plateaus, but the music's still getting slower. The heat energy is still being removed. So what's happening? How can everything seem like it should still be getting slower, but it's not? Well, that's because that entire time, instead, forces of attraction are going closer together. They're getting stronger again. And so at this point, everyone who was near somebody else, well, they start maybe snuggling up and getting closer. And maybe they're going to do like a group dance or something like that. And everybody starts packing in tightly. And from all sides now, they're having forces of attraction being formed. And they can start making a rigid, three-dimensional structure and become a solid. So now we've got a very, very slow pace of music or a very cold temperature in the solid form, no longer doing any big movements, just a little bit of vibration movement, listening to that music, or feeling pretty cold at this point. And then we've hit the bottom again. We're back down to the bottom of our graph. So looking at this in reverse, if I start up here in the gas phase with everybody just on their own, zipping and zapping everywhere, dancing and spinning on their own, heat energy removed or music slowing down, they hit the plateau where they start reforming forces of attraction. Music continues to slow as they start to pair up. Then there's a point where everybody's paired up, we're moving into a liquid phase. They're dancing again, the music's still decreasing or the heat's still moving more slowly. No really new forces of attraction, just more slowly, but coming closer together in the sense that they don't rush apart anymore. And so each time they start coming closer together, they start reaching this point where all of the energy that's being removed or all the change in the speed of the dance, it's all going towards everybody going, oh, I love you so much. Let's come together as a big unit and getting close together to form that solid. Then even at that point, things can slow down a little bit more, but you'll be staying in the solid phase from then on. I hope that helps to explain these whole changes in temperature versus changes in the forces of attraction. Change in temperature, in movement, change in force of attraction. Never thought of it that way, but that's a way to say it. One more time. As the temperature changes either up or down, that's a change in the kinetic energy of the particles, a change in their speed of motion. Across the plateaus, that's a change in the forces of attraction between the particles, between the molecules or atoms of gases. All of that is going on at the plateaus, whether they're forming new ones or breaking the ones they already have. Okay, that's all I've got for you today. I hope that helps.